Manute Bol started playing basketball in 1978 and played in Sudan for several years with teams in Wa and Khartoum. A coach from Fairleigh Dickinson University saw Bol play basketball in Khartoum and convinced him to come to the United States. Bol was drafted by the San Diego Clippers in the 5th round of the 1983 NBA draft, but the league ruled that Bol had not been eligible for the draft and declared the pick invalid. He was then invited to Cleveland by Cleveland State University head basketball coach Kevin Mackey. While in Cleveland, he attended English language classes for several months at ELS Language Centers on the Case Western Reserve University campus. Bol never played for Cleveland State because his basketball program was placed on probation for 2 years as a result of providing improper financial assistance to Bol and 2 other African basketball players. Bol lacked a strong command of written English, which reduced his chances of being eligible to play Division I basketball. He enrolled at the University of Bridgeport, a Division II basketball school, and played college basketball there during the 1984-85 season. In 1985, Bol was drafted in the 2nd round by the Washington Bullets. His first tenure with the Bullets lasted from 1985 to 1988. In his rookie season, Bol appeared in 80 games and recorded a career-high 5 blocks per game. His total of 397 blocks set an NBA rookie record and remains the 2nd highest single-season total in league history behind Mark Eaton's 456 blocks in 1985. Bol's first tenure with the Golden State Warriors lasted 2 seasons from 1988 to 1990. In his first season in Golden State, Bol first attempted to shoot 3-pointers with regularity. In that season, he shot a career-high 91 threes and converted 20 of them. At this time, he may have helped popularize the expression, "my bad," for jacking up that many threes during his tenure at Golden State. Bol's first tenure with the Philadelphia 76ers lasted from 3 seasons from 1990 to 1993. Although he played in a career-high 82 games in his first season in the Sixers, it was also Bol's production as a player began to decline. After playing in all 82 games in 1990-91, he played in 71 games the next season, and in 58, a career low at the time, the following season. During Bol's last season in Philadelphia, Bol enjoyed a memorable night while playing against former teammate Charles Barkley and the Phoenix Suns. Bol hit 6 of 12 3-pointers in the second half, albeit in a losing effort against the Suns. Fans have been known to yell out "shoot" as soon as Bol touches the ball when he was far from the basket. Bol played in 8 games in the 93-94 season with the Miami Heat. The Heat were the only team where Bol played that didn't feature him in the starting lineup. He scored on a 2-point field goal with the team had blocked 6 shots in 61 total minutes. Bol's second stint with the Bullets lasted only 2 games during the 93-94 season. He was signed not to play in any games, but helped the development of his 7'7" teammate Jorge Murison. Bol's second stint with the Sixers lasted just 4 games near the end of the 93-94 season. There, he helped mentor 7'6" teammate Sean Bradley. In only 49 minutes, he played more aggressively than he did earlier in the season with Miami and Washington. He scored 6 points, 6 rebounds, and blocked 9 shots. Bol's final NBA stop was in 1994-95 with the Golden State Warriors. He wore the number 1 jersey, made the season-opening roster, and played in what would be his final 5 NBA games. On a memorable night in the middle of November, Bol finally made his home debut, coming off the bench to play 29 minutes against the Minnesota Timberwolves. He intimidated and blocked his usual shots and grabbed his usual rebounds. That night, however, served as a blast from the past as Bol was back to shooting 3-pointers like he did in the late 80s. In that game, Bol connected on 3 from the 3-point line. The crowd in disbelief cheered louder and louder with each shot he took. Several nights later in Charlotte, on a game that was nationally televised by TNT, Bol was in the starting lineup again. By this time, 2 weeks into the season, Bol's career seemed to be rejuvenated under head coach Don Nelson in Golden State. He was again a defensive force, making threes and contributing as a starter to create matchup problems. However, after playing only 10 minutes against the Hornets on November 22, 1994, Bol suffered what proved to be a career-ending injury and never played in the NBA again. Before he left his final game, he recorded a block and 2 points, and also managed to unload a 3-point attempt in limited minutes. With his great height and very long limbs, Bol was one of the league's most imposing defensive presences, blocking shots at an unprecedented rate. Along with setting the rookie shot block record in 1885-86, over the course of his career, Bol tied for the NBA record for the most blocked shots in one half with 11, and in one quarter with 8. In the game against Orlando Magic, he blocked 4 consecutive shots within a single possession. However, Bol's other basketball skills were very limited, and his rail-thin physique made it difficult for him to establish post position against the league's more physical centers and power forwards. The sight of a tall, gangly Bol spotting up for a three-pointer during blowouts became a fan favorite. Off the court, he established a reputation as a practical joker. Charles Barkley, a frequent victim of his pranks, attested to Bol's sense of humor. Bol also developed a close friendship with his former teammate, Chris Mullin. Over the course of his career, Bol averaged 2.6 points, 4 rebounds, and 3.3 blocks per game while only playing on an average of 18.7 minutes per game. Bol finished his career with a total of 1,599 points, 2,647 rebounds, and 2,086 blocks, having appeared in 624 games over 10 seasons. As of 2010, Bol remains the first in career blocks per 48 minutes at 8.6, almost 50% behind second place Mark Eaton. He's second in career blocks per game average at 3.34, 14th in total block shots in NBA history at 2,086, and is the only player in NBA history to block more shots than score points, blocking 2,086 shots while scoring 1,599 points. After the end of his NBA career, Bol played 22 games for the Florida Beach Dogs of the CBA during the 95-96 season. In 1996, the Portland, Maine Cats of the USBL announced that he would be playing with the team and included him in the game program, but he never actually appeared in uniform. He then played professionally in Italy and Qatar before rheumatism forced him to retire permanently. Bol was very active in charitable causes throughout his career. In fact, he said he spent most of his money he made during his 10-year NBA career supporting various causes related to his war-ravaged nation of birth in Sudan. He frequently visited Sudanese refugee camps where he was treated like royalty. In 2001, Bol was offered a post as Minister of Sport by the Sudanese government. Bol, who was a Christian, refused because one of the preconditions was converting to Islam. Later, Bol was hindered from leaving the country by the Sudanese government, who accused him of supporting the Dinka-led Christian rebels, the Sudan People's Liberation Army. The Sudanese government refused to grant him an exit visa unless he came back with more money. Assistance by supporters in the U.S., including Connecticut Senator Joseph Lieberman, raised money to provide Bol with plane tickets to Cairo, Egypt. After 6 months of negotiations with U.S. consulate officials regarding refugee status, Bol and his family were finally able to leave Egypt and return to the United States. Bol established the Ring True Foundation in order to continue fundraising for Sudanese refugees. He gave most of his earnings to the cause. In 2002, Fox TV agreed to broadcast the telephone number of his Ring True Foundation in exchange of Bol's agreement to appear in their celebrity boxing show. After the referee Golden, "If you guys don't box, you won't get paid," he scored a third-round victory over former football player William Refrigerator Perry. In fall of 2002, Bol signed a one-day contract with the Indianapolis Ice of the Central Hockey League. Even though he couldn't skate, the publicity generated by his single-game appearance helped to raise money to assist children in Sudan. Bol once suited up as a horse jockey for similar reasons. Bol was also involved in an April 2006 Sudan Freedom Walk, a three-week march from the UN building in New York to the United States Capitol in Washington, D.C. The event was organized by Simon Deng, a former Sudanese swimming champion, who was a longtime friend of Bol. Deng, who served as a slave for 3 years from the age of 9, is another tribe in southern Sudan. His Southern Freedom Walk is especially aimed at finding a solution to the genocide in Darfur, but it also seeks to raise awareness of the modern-day slavery and human rights abuses throughout Sudan. Bol spoke in New York at the start of the walk and in Philadelphia at a rally organized by former hunger striker Nathan Kleiman. During his time in Egypt, Bol ran a basketball camp in Cairo. One of his pupils was a fellow Sudanese refugee, Chicago Bulls player Luau Deng, the son of a former Sudanese cabinet minister. Deng later moved to the U.S. to further his basketball career, continuing a close relationship with Manute Bol. After a political dispute in Sudan in 2002, Bol was admitted to the United States as a religious refugee and resided in West Hartford, Connecticut. In July 2004, Bol was seriously injured in a car accident, breaking his neck while he was ejected from the taxi he was riding and hit a guardrail and overturned. When Bol recovered from these injuries, he moved to Olathe, Kansas. Bol was also the brand ambassador of Ethiopian Airlines and Ethiopian Airlines Journeys. On June 9, 2010, Manute Bol died from acute kidney failure and complications from Stevens-Johnson syndrome at the University of Virginia Medical Center in Charlottesville, Virginia. After his death, tributes to Bol's basketball career and charitable works came from around the U.S. and the world. His former teams in NBA issued statements in recognition of his impact on the sport of basketball and on his native Sudan. A salute to Bol took place on the floor of the United States Senate just a few days after his death. This is a story of Manute Bol. Thanks for checking out Nothing But Net. Until next time, peace.